Welcome back to the channel. We should be approaching Christmas, if not after. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Today I'm going to run you through a quick build. One of our latest fits was, had a young kid in with plenty of speed. He struggled a little bit with launch. Too much spin, was playing TS2 driver 8.5 DI8X shaft. So just couldn't get in the air, but also a little bit spinny. So it was a tough fit. But we've got him in TSR 2 10 degree. Just set on A1. So what I'd normally do is I would set the adapter in at A1 and tighten that up. Now his driver shaft is a Ventus Blue TR 6X. So it helped a little bit with launch but kept spin down. We had the spin a little high, so we're going to give this, in order to bring that spin down, we gave it a 1-inch tip trim. So that's the first thing I'll do. I'll tip trim 1 inch and then prep the tip. So safety goggles over here, 1 inch off. So just set in the machine, set at 1 inch. Basically there. I'm just going to cut it. And then move over to this machine here just to tidy up the tip. So I do it really lightly, just to basically to take the paint off, right? So ferrule on and in. Now it's going to be, so you can see how the velo core gets pretty close down here now to the ferrule, because it's had a little tip trim. So I'm going to go over and measure for length. It's going to be 45.5, so cutting 45.25 right on will allow, just make sure that's right. It'll allow for the grip to make it 45.5 playing. So goggles back on, back in here. So that's cut to length now. Briefing was 2 papers Z grip. So, I mean, you can put papers on however you like. I got a little measurement on the table, on the workbench there. Tells me how far to rip out the tape. I like to use a 2-inch tape and go down the shaft this way. And then, smooth it on that way. So you get a nice even coverage of tape. And the second piece goes the exact opposite, down. We get a good even coverage there. So we've got 2 papers. We've got the head. We've got the correct length. So next thing we're going to do is swing weight. She's D5. She's a little heavy. So I took a quarter off. Repapered, otherwise the papers are too short, and this is going to come in at about D4 with glue, so that's kind of more what we're looking for as far as length and swing weight go. But I always prefer to start a little long, unless sometimes the build is not, customers kind of not overly fussed on it, but we're looking around 45.5 down to even as far down as 45. So can always be adjusted. I'd rather start a little longer and work down. Now I've just mixed up some 2-part glue. A little bit in there. You don't need heaps of glue, surprisingly. And then just a little on the shaft. Push the ferrule down a little. And I usually turn that in. And then you can, the Titleist are usually pretty tight. You don't really need to put much in the way of glass beads on them. If I put too much in the way of glass beads on the end here, it'll get snagged, but that's still going in and turning, and that'll center nicely. We use glass beads just to center the shaft. That's all. There's a little bit of glue on the outside there. So I'll get a tissue, wipe it off. Clean up my paddle pop stick. And then as a secondary little clean, we use alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of a spray there, and that'll just clean up, you know, any residual glue around the adapter, anything on the shaft. I'll make sure it's set up in nice and square, and it's pretty ready to go. Sit it down to dry. So now with the glue's dry, it's kind of malleable, if you know, it will bend but won't snap. Right, so this glue is really nice. It's not one that's brittle and will break, so I've got to turn the ferrule down, and by that I mean just smooth it out, because there'll be, I mean it's hard to see, but there'll be a little lip here. There'll be a little lip. It's a little bit uneven, so I'm going to always put a little bit of tape over the shaft here, just to protect it. I mean, I like things to not go to customers, particularly brand new things, or all things, without scratches on them. So safety goggles back on. And then on this side of the machine over here, it's a linishing wheel. And so that'll take the edge, the lip off it, basically. Just takes the lip off. And even though the linisher doesn't go over this tape, just in case, I mean, sometimes I just get in a habit of doing it, because sometimes the ferrule is quite, you know, it might be quite short, and the belt might come onto the shaft, which I don't want to do. It'll rip up the shaft. So final touches. Now to make that ferrule shine like a brand new car. Acetone on a tissue. Turn it quickly. Right? And then if you can see that, comes up beautiful. Flush, shiny, just like brand new. So that's now in the vise. Like I said, we've got Z grip, 2 papers, double-sided tape. The double-sided tape we use is really, really thin, so it doesn't really add thickness. Stick that down both sides. Always clamp off the end like such, and then if it's too long, you've got to cut it off, but just push it in. So now basically none of the solution's going to get down inside the shaft. We don't really want moisture in there over time either. So, and then I use another sauce bottle, but this has got gripping solution, like a Brampton's gripping solution. Cover that up, nice and wet. Grip will slide on. I use a towel because sometimes that solution wants to come back at me. Take off the barcode. Check for straightness, which is perfect anyways, but obviously always check. Out of the vise. Just give a little tidy up there on the end, and then I'll double check, right? I'll set it at address. How square is it? I think it's perfect. Check it again. It's all done. Now that'll sit and dry there. We try to recycle everything we can. Try and reuse. So this is just like a little drip tray. You've probably seen me use this before. Turn it around. It goes back into the sauce bottle. So once it's all dry, we'll take all the stickers and whatnot off. So you got this beautiful brand new TSR2 set on A1. Ventus TR Blue 6X, tip trim 1 inch. And then we grab the head covers. Head covers are pretty nice these days. Certainly improved over the years. Beautiful new head cover. And that's ready to go. So that's how we build your new driver once you come in for a fit. And got any questions or whatnot, give us a yell. We'll do our best to get back to you. Thank you.